I have lived gang stalking, mind control, CIA, MK Ultra my entire life ever since I was a child. I'm going to try to tell you in a nutshell as fast as I can a little bit about my life, so maybe I can help people with their life. It might shed some light on what's really going on. I was born in 1965. I was in the middle of 4 girls. Later on, we even adopted a foster child, so 5 girls. And I was not at all a girly type boy. I was all woods and being outside and sport and athletic. I had nothing in common with girls. I also believe that MK Ultra is tied into your birth immune shots. These immune shots have given you certain characteristics. It's also tied into your zodiac calendar. And I'm going to try to shed some light on that later on in the video. The Mayan, the zodiac, and the Chinese calendar are all a 12-cycle calendar. And it's about the sun rotating around a Milky Way galaxy, warp through the equatorial plane. Planet Earth follows around its elliptical plane. As you pass through these constellations, these stars are energy. You are pure energy. Water is energy. You're made of water and stardust, stardust and water, pure energy. You could either take a quote from Einstein, Galileo, Tesla, Planck. You are pure energy. Traveling through these constellations, energies are connecting with energy. And when you're born within that realm of energies, then those energies are shaping your mind at birth. It forms who you are. Your monthly horoscope, the real horoscope. I'm born on the cusp, on the date of the 19th February of Pisces and Aquarius. This is the same constellation that our sun is traveling through currently. We just passed through Pisces and we're going in, Pisces, and we're moving through the equatorial plane of Aquarius. This happens every 2150 years. The last time, I believe, was the birth of Jesus Christ. And when you want to understand the cross that we worship today of Jesus Christ, the cross is a symbol of the alignment of the constellations of the opposite sign. For example, the Virgin Mary, Virgo, and Lion, Leo. If you look at the Sphinx, you have the body of the Virgin, you have the face of a virgin, a woman, and it was changed to a man-looking face, but it was the Virgin, Virgo, and it's the body of the lion. What they're trying to tell you as the alignment of the star systems are the awakening of your conscience also ties into your evolution. The evolution of a man is not what the science books tell you. And I'm going to expose you that everything that you know, I'm going to kind of tell you what Buddha tells you and Yoda. I'm going to tell you what he tells you, that you have to unlearn everything that you know. Everything in your life is a lie, from the medias to the corporations to the medical industry to your education system to your colleges to the shots that you were given at birth. You have no idea who you are. You have been enslaved in so much compromise of your humanity that you have no idea. You have lost track of your reality. And we are literally living in what they call an evil matrix, and those of us who break out of that matrix are attacked by MK Ultra, gang stalkers, surveillance, harassment, chemtrails, smart meters, fracking. Everything is done underneath or above your home or around your house. You are in total surveillance. And I believe that this started with me as a child. I believe it's based on my birth constellations. I believe that throughout my life, they have proven that I am who I am through tests, through personality profiles, priests, through testimonies, through work, through sports. All of this has tested who I am and proved that I am who I was born to be. And the people who follow their real life journey, their real path, kind of like what Bruce Lee said, be like water. Water flows or it crashes. The people who flow and they follow their real life journey are the people that are being attacked by MK Ultra, tested to the limits of their personality capacities. They are trying, in my opinion, to convert godlike people into satanic people. The people that are doing this are extremely satanic. They're demonic. And they're using your neighbors and your friends by controlling a computer record that is fictitious. It's not real. If I read my credit report right now, I would say, well, wait a minute, this is wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. There would be everything on there wrong. Oh, and my house note, that wouldn't be on there. My car loan, that would be erased. They would show that I was late on it. And I would go, wait a minute, I'm not late. I would dispute every record that they have, and I would be correct. My work history, I'd go, wait a minute. If I read my work history, it would say this and this. I would say, wait a minute, that's not true. That's not what happened. And I would try to tell you the truth, and the computer would say something different. And also my criminal record. I would say, wait a minute, that's not what happened. That record was sealed. Why is it unsealed? Why is this not private? And why? And this person was influenced to do this because of a custody battle. So she lied. She filed a phony police report. And the real criminal was her, not me. And so what they do is they make your life sound like, So a judge can say, man, you got a lot of stories, Fred. You know, I've got all this information in front of me, and you're telling me something totally different. And I believe the computer, not you. So this is the ultimate goal of this. Completely discredit you, possibly use you as a target or a false flag, planned New World Order events. And there are many. I'm talking from weather modification, weather warfare, attacking, blowing up places, nuclear bombs, starting wars, countries attacking you, terrorists. They're going to false flag so many people in America. And they're going to convince you that your neighbor is a bad person, and it's all going to be a deception. Just like Vietnam was a deception, just like Korea was a deception, just like World War II was a deception. They knew that the planes were coming into Pearl Harbor. They knew this stuff. Just like Hitler was a deception. Everything that Hitler did was legal. How could that be legal? Murdering people, eugenics, diseases. Now what's happening is these people they have no choice. They have to awaken consciousness, or they're going to commit a crime. So it's either God or money. There's no other. They're going to keep attacking them no matter what. For example, I have chosen God in every test that they've given me, every single time. And this is them using microwave technology, reverse energies through the negative ground wires in your home, all kind of wireless networks that travel in on cell phone technologies. In other words, they got the cell phone, and then they got a passive energy that's traveling on the same wavelength. This is all mind control, and it's done, and this is real. It's extremely real. And I'm going to try to expose exactly what's going on in my life so that you can identify it. Please don't think I'm bragging when I talk about my history. It's not bragging. I'm just telling you the facts so that enlightened people that are going through this can relate, and we can share our stories and connect. Once I do this video, the only people that are going to possibly see it are the surveillance people, because they've got your videos and your internet and your emails blocked. So I'm going to prove that also. However, some people that are in the MK Ultra program can read your videos. And mostly that's all they see are other people's videos. So it puts them into this psychopathic world, because you've got some stable people and some unstable people doing videos. And there's a lot of misinformation out there, because people are on their life journey. They're trying to figure out what's going on while they're being attacked, while their friends and families turned against them, while their wife left them, while their wife stole the child, why the kids don't talk to them. I have friends that committed suicide. I have friends that have died of Oxycontin because they're suffering from MK Ultra. Now, one of the things about my profile, which are very strange, and I have not connected to a lot of people. Not only as a child that I could see visions, I had all kind of abilities that I couldn't tell other people. The devil was always trying to get me. I run in my parents' room, Mommy, Daddy, I want to sleep with you, just like every other child did, because I would be held down on the bed. I would be levitating as I would wake up. I was always waking up to where I couldn't move, and it was always some demon or devil trying to get, and I would wake up screaming, no, I am not going with you. I choose God. Now, I'm 49 years old. This happened when I was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and still happening today. Not in so much the nightmares. I would also hear a noise in my ear. Vroom, vroom, and I knew that I was going to dream a bad dream. Now, what was that noise in my ear? Read about kymatics, read about voice energies, read about the pathways of music and how kymatics and sound energy. The whole universe is made of sound. The entire universe is pure energy. Sound is energy. Light is energy. It's all energy. You are energy. You are a resonating frequency. You read about the Schumann resonance in the earth, you will learn that you are pure energy, sound, resonating frequency, and your harmonics of that frequency match the harmonics of the animals, the birds, the bees, the trees, planet Earth. Planet Earth is a living Earth. It is a living, breathing Earth. The lungs are the plankton of the oceans and the trees and the plant. That's your lungs. It emits a frequency that is around 783 hertz, and sometimes it resonates up to 11. Depends on the time of day and night. It also, your mind operates on the exact same frequency. There is a God for frequency. When you see Jesus holding his heart, he's got a halo over his head. This is the symbol of the godlike frequency and the energy that protects you from the dirty energies that I'm going to be speaking about: mind control, MK Ultra, and gang stalkers, surveillance, harassment, chemtrails, spraying reflective metals so that they can MK Ultra everybody. All this is tied into one big giant monster demon of a world. You could either choose to surveillance your neighbor, or you can choose to refuse to conform peacefully. I am not going to spy on my neighbor. Now, the people that are being spied on, if a police officer come to them, they have a certain personality, and said, "Would you spy on your neighbor?" They would say, "Nope, sorry, find someone else." Now, that's my personality. There is no way that they can convince me. I don't care if they had a list of crimes that I committed that were a mile long and they threatened to throw me in prison. I would still say, "Sorry, throw me in prison, do your worst. I am not spying on my neighbor." Now, they know these personalities and they're trying to conquer them. At the age of around 7 years old to around 15 to even my 20s, I realized that I had special gift in sport. I knew what people were going to do before they did it. In martial arts, I never lost a fight because I literally knew what move that they were going to make before they made it. I made best defensive player for many years in my life. I knew where the ball was going every single time, and I was always where the ball was. And that's why I got trophies in football, martial arts, every sport that I did. I learned how to juggle in one day. Now, I'm not bragging what I call hate living in the lower half of the chakra people. This is not bragging. This is not an ego. This is telling people the truth about the personalities that they When I got into the workforce, I owned my own pet store at the age of 20, 21, 22. I did so well in the pet business, I put 3 other stores out of business. I was in business for about 5.5 years, and I decided to get rid of it because of mind control. And I'll get to that in a minute. So I was doing pretty well in the business. This was during the oil crisis in Louisiana, and businesses were going belly up all over our community. I was in a strip mall to where the only thing that was left was a pizza parlor and an eye examine office and my pet store. Everything else, even Kmart, left. Walmart left. It was a big strip center and moved to different locations. Even during struggling times, I survived. That profiles me for MK Ultra. As I started dating, I noticed that the women were liars. They would pretend like they were Christian women, come into my life, and then they would sabotage my life. Now, I dated a couple of very Christian women that were not like that, but something told me, mind control, be attracted to this type of woman. You know, with the nice butt and the nice boobs and the nice tan and the nice legs. I was attracted to the women that the TV told me to attract to, and I was under mind control hypnosis. A lot of times rejected the real Christian women because I wanted what the TV told me I needed. Well, it took me many years to figure out that this is all mind control and that I was living in the evil matrix. When I started pet business, I got into a health and beauty industry. I realized that I was an incredible outside salesman. I dominated. There were over 70 salespeople in this company, and I was number one every single month. I was a hustler. I worked very hard, but I worked extremely smart. And I truly believed that I knew what people were going to say before they said it. So I became an incredible closer. I believe Jesus Christ was an incredible closer. He sold Christianity to the world. He was an incredible salesman and he was an incredible teacher. And sales is teaching. You always are teaching your products. I used to do seminars, speaking in public, at least twice a day. And sometimes to 200-300 people at a time. I did that. I realized I was very good at it. I won all kinds of awards. Every month I was the top salesman. And I said, well, although this was a very fun job, I didn't make a lot of money. I only made about $40,000, $50,000 a year. But I said, I got to get into a field that is a little bit more enduring, a little bit more profitable. I was in another relationship after I've been divorced because I realized my first wife had been mind altered, mind controlled. She was doing things that I could not do. And what I was noticing that the weak people in my life were being mind altered. And the reason why I was the experiment was because I was not following the typical mind control person. I was not doing what they would do. I would walk into a bar and go, oh my, I have to get out of here, because I knew that there were a lot of bad people there. I never liked to be where bad people were. And I could feel and sense I wasn't an alcoholic. I didn't do drugs. I followed God's laws all my life, and I was very critical. When my friends would go do drugs, they would go without me, and I would be left alone. I was very much liked by male friends because I was very tough and I was a martial artist, and people like hanging out with tough guys. It's reality. And I was not just tough mentally, but I was tough physically. I gained a lot of friendship based on my tournaments and my popularity in the newspaper and that type of thing. I had no fear at all. I was a scuba diver. Even when I was 9 years old, I swam with sharks, and that invoked a no fear response. Therefore, if I didn't fear sharks, I definitely didn't fear women. So I had no problem talking to women. So men loved hanging out with me because I would just walk up to a crowd of girls and say, hey, how you doing? And next thing you know, we're having a good time. That lack of fear followed me around. And I also believe that that lack of fear is why MK Ultra just kept pounding into my head their surveillance. And today it's at the point to where it's just utterly ridiculous. I mean, it was there with me as a child. Now it's absolutely extreme. They have to get you converted to Satanism. And I'll tell you, I see no difference between Jesus Christ and the people that are being MK Ultra. Jesus Christ, if you really read the Bible, was a man who was turned in by Judas Iscariot. He was told that he broke the law. He was teaching a Christian religion that was outside of the Roman religion, and that was against the law. Just like Hitler, one religion, Aryan race, same thing was going on in the days of Jesus. It was against the law to teach people the truth. And when you read chapter Luke, you'll read that he went up to the Mount of Olives every night. He got wisdom from God, and he came down and he taught. Now, he needed somebody to testify of what he was teaching, because the people that he was teaching would not testify against. Finally, someone betrayed him. Now, what is going on today? If your neighbors are surveillancing you, they're betraying you. What happened to Jesus Christ during his crucifixion? All 12 disciples betrayed him. So I'm going to show you the direct influence that's going on. Now, what's going on? Who's tied into this MK Ultra, this mind control, gang stalking? What's tied into this? The police. Were the Roman soldiers? Who arrested Jesus Christ? The Roman soldiers did. Who was following Jesus Christ all over? They were following him to the mountains. They were surveillancing him. They followed him into the garden. They were constantly keeping an eye on him. They saw him turn over the tables, and he said, quit. Jesus did not pay taxes. It says it in Luke. He did not like monetary system. He didn't believe in a monetary system. He went and turned over the tables, and he says, no money in the house of God. Mentality, if you have two coats, you give one away. In other words, if you have a farm and you have an overabundance, you feed the hungry. And there's no need for a monetary or money system. And I don't see anything more evil in the planet than money. And then I would say the second thing would be TV, and I would say the third thing would be brainwashed religion. Yes, I'm coming after you, religion, the mind-altering king of civilization. And I will show you how religion is tied into brainwash, hopefully, if I have enough time. It is nothing but brainwashing. They never get into politics. That's a fact. The Pope blessed Hitler. That's a fact. The Pope sits on a throne and he prays for poor people while they're starving to death. That's a fact. The Pope travels down the street and people worship him. Now if you go to the Mormon religion, exact same thing. Presidents, bishops, modern day prophets, wards. What are wards? Prisons. Mind control. Utah. There's experiments in MK Ultra to patients in Utah that they were given so much ultrasonic and infrasonic radiation and microwave radiation that they could not even stand up. And I've experienced that. I might get to that in a moment. And I was rushed to the hospital. Hopefully I'll get to that issue. Guys, I can talk for 40 days and 40 nights straight about the things that happened to me. So I'm trying to put this all in a nutshell. And if you want to correspond with me, then that's okay. I would love it if the MK Ultras allow my video to be promoted. Of course, they control that too. So, divorce. The wife literally would not let me see my child. She turned my child against me. She made her family, she told her family lies. She was under 100% mind control, and she was a very weak person. She did drugs. She was bisexual. She did all the sins that God made her mind weak by. So mind control worked very easy on her. Once they attacked her, She just went for it. This is called MK Ultra. This is mind control. This is very real. So once she was attacked for this mind control, I basically split. I said, I'm not following you. I am not doing what you're doing. She was having sex with her boss. Her boss was married. I mean, it was just disgusting. So I went about my way and I left. And I said, as long as you're... Now, I didn't know mind control was real then. All I knew is that she was doing evil and I was trying to follow God. That's all I knew. I didn't know anything about MK Ultra back then, but I do now. Basically, she chose evil, I chose God, and we went our separate ways. So now I'm dating, and I'm noticing that the women that I had any type of long-term relationship, 3 months and above, were also mind altered. Every one of them. It was as if I was a person who refused to bow down to Satanism, and they were going to get me some kind of way. I truly believe that this is what MK Ultra is. It is a choice between God and money, good and evil, light and darkness. This is the real issue of MK Ultra. They are trying to create a world of nothing but computer drone mentalities, no critical thinkers, and a world of people who cannot choose God. Look at the particle accelerator. They're trying to find the particle, the God particle. They are looking for God. So they're surveillancing the people who refuse to follow man's laws but follow God's laws consciously. God lives within the heart and the mind. He doesn't live in the lower chakra. The people that are surveillancing me live in the lower chakra. They eat, sleep, go to work, have sex. They get back up, they punch the clock, and they do it all over again. And their whole life is about money, sports, work, and that's it. Everything is about me mentality. They don't have God. They don't have consciousness. They might go to church every month or every week, but that doesn't mean anything. Going to church is not the sacrificing of self to God. I am a selfless being, and everything in my life is more important than I am. I am extremely giving. Now, even my relationships might deny this, but they would be liars. That I am a giving being. I love the animals. I love the trees. I love the birds. I love the planet. I can feel the planet dying right now. I can feel the animals suffering and dying. I see it. I feel it. I hear it. In my body tells me that we are going through an extinction level event, that what they've done to the climate, these corporations, they've destroyed it. And now they're going to blame God, and they're going to blame me, you, me, the taxpayers. I'll tell you to read Luke chapter 21. I've done a seminar on it, and I've described exactly what it means. This chapter 21, the whole verse, is extremely real. Nations will rise against nations. Poor will put more in the taxes than the rich. Look at Apple Computer and GE. They don't pay no taxes. All the corporations have offshore accounts. They pay no tax, and the poor pay all the. And of course, taxes and the IRS is nothing but a fraudulent corporation that they build their armies and their secret weapons against you. This is how they pay the MK Ultra with your hard-earned tax dollars, not from their corporations, and by charging interest. What does Jesus say and God say? No interest. You cannot charge interest. They do it. What does God say about laws? Do not make laws above my laws. We live in a civilization that is filled with laws above God's laws, and we've got a judge wearing a black robe sitting on the throne, 3 steps to his pedestal with the hammer of Thor and Osiris, and you have to board the ship, the Freemasonic ship, in order to talk to him or even dispute your case. Your name is in capital letters of your driver's license, your birth certificate in capital letters. You are considered a corporation of the states, and you're a corporation of the banks. You are not even a living person anymore. This is why when you mention the Constitution, that they will go, they don't know what to say when you mention the Constitution. This is why when you go through a border crossing, even a border crossing, but you go through border control in your own state and you say, I would like to peacefully travel the highways, they will harass you and threaten you in order to surveillance your car and look at your ID to know where you are and what you're doing, so that they can fill out their reports that he was there and he was going here, and they know everything about people. It is a surveillance, drone-type mentality of kings ruling over mankind. There is nothing about our civilization that is free. Our religions don't even allow us to freely preach to the Lord, get on our knees in suffering and pain and talk to our Lord. We have to go to a priest. We have to go through testimony. We have to go through confession. I know I used to do it when I was a kid, and you've got to go to the priest in order to be saved. Guys, this is great of mankind, very misled by the world. And this information that's coming from me is not coming from a madman or a crazy psychopath. This is coming from my knees, my tears, and my suffering, and my prayers as God communicates with me. And He gives me the strength to overcome this surveillance harassment that's been in my life my entire life. I can even go back to my childhood, and my sister, my oldest sister, was so abusive to me. I can do a 10-hour program on how abusive she was to me as a child. I lived with bruises and beatings and verbal and mental abuse all my life. If my parents left the home, the physical and the mental abuse would immediately pursue, and I would wind up outside, sitting by a light post, crying in tears, talking to God. Mind control is real. My sister was completely mind controlled. I don't blame her. I don't hate her. I just believe that she was a victim of a weak-minded conscience. I would have resisted Satan. When Satan came in my room at night when I was dreaming, I said, "Get out," and I meant it. And I was fearless. And every time he would come in my room and I would hear that sound in my ears, I said, "Get out of my room." I don't know anything more pure than a child. And by the way, if you're deeming me as a psychopath like these bankers are, which is the opposite of reality, if you live in the opposite reality world or a television programmed world, then you will see me as the opposite of who I am. Now, the people that are being MK Ultra are relating to exactly what I'm telling you, and you are comprehending exactly what I'm telling you. That most of the people that are around you believe the opposite of reality. They believe love is between a man and a woman, not a global love. You see, when I look at people, I love people. I love enemies. I love even the people who are harassing me. Why do you think I'm doing this video? To awaken consciously the people who are on the dark side. This is what I've been built for. This is what I was born for, to resist this temptation. And that's why I'm being attacked today, because they've got control of most of the population. But I believe that the 144,000 in Revelation, and also I believe that Calvinism is real. God chooses certain people to resist temptation, and He gives them certain abilities. And I believe that's who Jesus Christ was. I believe that's who Buddha was. I believe that's who Krishna was. I can go on and on. Names. It doesn't matter the names of your Savior. There were many saviors in many places, in many societies, and many times of this world. I believe that we had modern day saviors that were trying to warn us. Martin Luther King, JFK, RFK, Malcolm X. These were people that were murdered. John Lennon, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson. Absolutely. People are going to go, Michael Jackson? Absolutely. The man grew up in the demonic society of Thriller and demons coming out of the ground. He evolved to the crying earth. Listen to the lyrics of his songs when they were harassing him, calling him a pedophile. They made him change his face. They made this man. Matter of fact, he looks like King Tut. I think it's King Tut. It's one of the kings. They made him look exactly like this fictional king. They even called him a king. They called Elvis Presley a king. But when Elvis and Michael started singing lyrics, for example, Elvis started singing gospel music, all of a sudden he was demonized by the media. I was alive during that time. I witnessed it. I saw it. I remember thinking, how could they call Elvis, this man who has this beautiful voice, these evil things? How could they call Michael Jackson, this man who has this God-given voice? Nobody can sing like Michael Jackson or Elvis. No one. You can try to impersonate him, but I'm sorry, but you will never feel the energy of Elvis and Michael. They had a spiritual energy in their vocals. And no one has matched that yet. No one has inspired people like God-like voices like Michael Jackson and Elvis Presley. Now, I'm just talking about my modern times. And there are many voices that are God-like voices that exist on this earth. And there are a lot of these voices are being tempted. And I'm just talking about the two kings. And I'm not saying that there are other voices. Marvin Gaye, I can go on and on and on, but there are many voices that are God-like, and they were fighting this Illuminati demonic society. Michael Jackson was fighting it. Elvis was fighting it. Why do you think Michael Jackson and Elvis's daughter got together? Priscilla Presley. How do you think that happened? Because they had a lot in common. They both made a conscious decision to break away from Satanism. Now, I lived a life that I kind of fell into the dark side a little bit, but I never got as dark as Michael Jackson or Elvis. Because Elvis, when you watch his movies, the girls were raising his skirts, he was shaking his hips. They were things going on that the modern day society deemed as satanic. They could not accept girls in bikinis and low skirts shaking their bodies, being half naked on the television. Guys, Elvis moved society to a completely different demonic realm. And he realized he did it. So did Michael Jackson. Absolutely. He created a whole society of demonism. And all of a sudden, when he chose to be a conscience-minded person, then they came after him and attacked him. I knew the man wasn't a pedophile. He just loved children just like I do. So how could you not love children? How can anyone not love a child? And to say that a man is sexually attracted to a child, oh my gosh, how could anyone be sexually attracted to a child? I have daughters. I'm not even sexually attracted to teenage children because I have teenage daughters and I have a daughter in her 20s. This is disgusting to me. Could never date somebody my child's age. No. There's just something about that God implants in our mind that says, nope, we cannot go there. I could never be attracted to a child. This is disgusting. And there's nothing more low to say that a man is a pedophile. There's nothing more low than that. And that's why the media is putting signs in people's front yards and mailers. There's a pedophile in your neighborhood, when all they did was have sex with a teenager. And most of them are innocent. Maybe they did something on the internet. So, you know, and God be the woman was willing, I guarantee you, in most times. So this is just like media television, it's the demonizing of turning people against people. Hate, fear, that's their goal of MK Ultra. And the reason why I am a specific target is because I've managed to reject them for so many years. And they have to get, if they can't conquer people like me, then what's the use in having the operation? If they only conquer, 3/4 of society, then that's not what they're interested in. They're interested in total global domination. Even if a child is born with a conscience Jesus-like mind, pure in body, pure in spirit, they want to be able to conquer them. They want to be able to steal God out of their soul. That's what this MK Ultra thing is about. There is nothing more demonic than that. So let me try to shed some light on my life. So as I traveled in my life journey, from the health and beauty industry, I left it. I felt like there was nothing left there for me. I dominated it. I even got into a relationship with the owner's daughter. I don't know how it happened, but I believe that this owner's daughter was somehow brainwashed into getting me to go out with her. She wanted to go out with me. She was halfway married, halfway divorced. It was something that I didn't want to do, but she was a very attractive girl, very beautiful girl. I have to admit I was very attracted to her, but I knew that it was wrong, and I never did anything with her, ever. I did meet her in a hotel room one night, but nothing happened. And, we talked on the phone, but I would never go there because I knew that she was halfway married and halfway divorced, and she hadn't made up her mind yet. And I didn't want to get involved in that. So the boss of this health and beauty industry corporation I worked for, Nexus, loved me. I was his chosen one. I was his prodigal son. I don't know what to say. But when I went out with his daughter, it was all over with. What made this daughter want to go out with me? What made this happen? I believe it's total mind control. I was fighting it. She was willing to go all the way. What was influencing this girl to want to sleep with me when she was still halfway married, halfway divorced? I believe this is mind control, and it happens to many women. I believe most women are the victims. Absolutely. And most women don't even know that they're the victims. They're just doing things, and they go, oh my God. And now it's become so normal for women to cheat and to lie and to steal from their husbands and to slander their husbands and to steal the children. It's so normal, and they've been victimized for so long that it's just normal in society. And then this is the whole goal of MK Ultra, is to create a demonic society. How can you live your life not fearing your creator's judgment?